Hey, this is Marty again, the Alabama elf guy. Hadn't done a video for a while, so I thought I would do one today. I've got a couple of things to show off. One is I have a new elf. I actually bought this one used. You can disregard that advertising on the side. The previous owner put it on there, and I'm gradually scraping it off one letter at a time. I'll replace it with some of my own advertising, but this is a 2FR with the small rear seat. I'll show you what that looks like. It's back here, and you can see it's not the full-size bench seat, but it's kind of like the motorcycle seat. And when I bought this one, it really wasn't set up the way that I wanted it to be. First off, the solar panel was non-functional, so I had to go ahead and replace that. And the solar panel I put on there was actually an add-on solar panel that fits directly over the existing one. I did not have to actually replace the existing panel. This one is held down by double-sided tape. And instead of being a 100-watt panel, this one is actually a 125-watt panel, and it is performing exceptionally well. The other thing that I had to change out was the transmission. This one is an updrive elf, but it had the standard little 3-speed transmission, which was not adequate for this part of town or this part of the country where I live, which is extremely hilly. So I changed it out to the new Vinci 380. You can see the shifter there, I do believe, and made some other changes to it. I just put on these side shields, which are removable roll-up doors that you can put on the elf, because it is really cold today. It's actually New Year's Eve 2017. It's just below freezing right now, and it's going to get a lot colder. We're going to have wind chills tomorrow down into the low single digits, or maybe even the negative numbers. So I wanted to go ahead and get these side shields up there. They are a product of a company called Tonkatronics. A fellow named Greg Parkhurst, who is an elf owner, actually came up with them. And I have another device that Greg came up with that I'll show you in a minute. I'll go ahead and get in. Now, getting in with the side shields, let's take a little bit more dexterity than getting in without them. So, there we go, but not too bad. And they definitely keep you much warmer when the weather is cold, and obviously they'll keep you dry, when the weather is wet. Now, this thing right in front of us here, it's called an Elf Informer. When I bought this elf, it had no meter of any sort. And the previous owner actually wasn't aware that his solar panel wasn't working, because he had no way of knowing it. So this one it actually, I believe you'll be able to order it as of tomorrow. But I'm actually beta testing it for Greg and Tonkatronics, and it's just absolutely wonderful. A couple of features that it has. You notice when I put on the turn signals, you get a visual turn signal indication. I got the left signal on, and you get an audible beep, so you know that it's that it's on. You don't leave it on inadvertently. You notice it also shut itself off after 7 beeps. Yeah, if I had hit the brake, the front brakes, it would have kept going, but it does have an auto shut off feature. Also has hazard light flashers. It'll flash all the turn signals, front and rear, which is really good in low light and night riding. Makes it a lot safer. It has a feature where you can reduce your headlight intensity by 50% if you want to use it like daytime running lights. And like I said, the hazard feature, you may be able to see it on the car in front of me. Let me go ahead and turn that on. And this has a touchscreen menu, so I just hit the options, and I hit the hazard lights, and it says hazard lights are on. And I don't know if you can see the reflection on the car in front of me, but the turn signals are flashing. I'm going to go ahead and turn them off right now, though, and go back to the main screen. And this one shows me my battery right now is at 47.3%, or 47.3 volts, which I've got about 7 miles to get home, and some of them are pretty hilly, so I'll make it, but it'll be kind of close. The motor is the middle graphical indicator. Since I'm not going right now, it's not doing anything, and even in this terrible light, here's how much is the solar panel is generating over here. It's getting 33 watts, which is fairly impressive for an overcast day like today. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and clip this phone to my helmet, put on my gloves, because even with the side shields it's still a little bit chilly here, and then we'll be on our way. And I'm not gonna video the whole journey. I'll just probably go for about 10 minutes or 12 minutes or so, and then shut the camera off. But so let me go ahead and get this thing on my helmet. Gotta take the helmet off first. There we go. Okay, so we're on the helmet here. Get it going. And I've made a few other changes. This little thing here is a phone holder. A little bit better than the one that Organic Transit provides. Now these doors, you can zip them shut. And it's got Velcro fasteners on the bottom. So I just have to fasten them shut. And I got a fairly airtight seal there. And now I'm just putting on my gloves, because like I said, it is a little bit chilly today. And then we'll be on our way. Oh, by the way, this ELF Informer, which is what this meter is called, also is a speedometer, an odometer, and a stopwatch, and has gazillions of other functions that most meters don't have, and it's custom made for the ELF. I'm actually at the local mall here, running some errands. So I just finished up, heading home. And this mall, like many others across the country, is in financial trouble, so they haven't been doing a lot of road maintenance. So it's got some pretty rough spots on it on this ring road right here. Go ahead and make a right turn signal. You hear that beep? Love it, and I'll just shut it off. The problem I had with the older turn signals was, before I had this ELF Informer, I would just forget they were on, because you really couldn't hear the little relay in the brain box that does that until, unless you were totally stopped in a very quiet place. So I'll turn on the left turn signal now, and as long as I keep my hand on the handbrake, it'll keep flashing. If I take my hand off the right brake, which runs the front brakes, which activates the brake lights, which by the way now flash instead of just staying on, it'll keep it going. And also you can program the horn where instead of continuous beep, it just goes beep beep, which I find is a little bit better to get people's attention. So. And all that functionality is built into this little meter here, and and the wiring of ELFs is, there's a wide variation in different models and different vintages, and even I think different people that assemble them, exactly how the wiring is put together. So when I put this in, Greg made kind of a custom wiring harness for me, and was kind enough to spend some time on the phone with me to help me make sure the connections were right. Okay. I'll go ahead and shut the turn signal off. And this is some post-holiday traffic here. So now, one little bit of a disadvantage of these side shields is that typically when I ride, I take corners very fast, and I stick my head way out the door opening on one side or the other to act as a counterweight to keep from rolling the ELF over. So you can't really do that when the doors are on there. You can't lean very far. And by the way, I did name this ELF. It's this orange color is a color that Organic Transit calls mango, so I named it GoMango. I've had this ELF for probably about 3 months now, and my intention was to pull the motor and the controller off of it and put it on my original ELF named Willie, which has got a shorted out motor. I got caught in a flood several months ago, but after I got this one and started dinking around with it, it's really in incredibly good condition. Willie's got cracks all over them and scrapes and broken fender and just all kinds of issues. So I figured I would just go ahead and convert this one to one of my everyday. I actually have two everyday elves. I take one day and one the next. But with this elf informer, I do tend to use this one more in poor weather conditions, since you have that hazard flasher function, and it does make you much more visible, like in the rain or dark or whatever. So but the traffic at the mall, it is New Year's Eve, was pretty light, and I don't anticipate a lot of traffic on the way home either. Just have to wait for the light to turn. I'm first in line, and then we'll go straight ahead. And like I said, I did ride this thing for about a month with the 3-speed transmission, and it was totally inadequate for this area. The high gear wasn't high enough, the low gear wasn't low enough, and the middle gear was almost useless. So when I put the new Vinci on there, it made all the difference in the world. I still have a few things I'm going to be doing in this one, just little stuff. I've got to put my sunglasses holder on this front bar here. This particular one did not have any options when I bought it. I mean, it was pretty much a stock elf. It does have the skinny tires and not the wide tires. So it does have a little bit rougher ride, because the wide tires act as shock absorbers, but it also has less rolling resistance. So, and this one is considerably lighter than my other elf that has every option you could possibly get on an elf. So this one actually outperforms the other one a little bit. And my voltage, I don't know if you can see it, is 46.6, 46.7. And it is cold, so you lose some battery functionality because of cold temperature as well. But if I baby this battery and really work hard going up the hills, then I should make it home without having to push up the last couple of hills. And this is just kind of a big 4-lane road. We'll be on this for a couple of more miles. And it's easy for people to get around me, so I really like traveling on this particular road. The only rattle this one really has in it, amazingly enough, is the trunk lid. The latch on the trunk lid is a bit loose, so I'll have to fix that. I'll put some sort of a washer in as a shim, and should be able to tighten that up, and this one will be absolutely tight and quiet. My other elves do rattle and moan and groan a bit. Alright, picking up a little bit speed on a slight downhill. So I don't need the motor to get me through to here, although I will. Oops, here comes the catch a light. Now this is a short light, so normally changes fairly quickly. Maybe if I sneak up on it, it'll change before I get there. There it did. Pick up a little speed on this downhill section. This is the speedometer indicator here. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it on the video, but showing 17, 18 miles an hour. Looks like we're going to catch this light red here. I like not having to stop here because it's a pretty big hill that we have to climb up on the opposite side of the light. Can't have everything. It did turn. Still don't have a whole lot of speed built up. just noticing, and when I was installing this meter, you have to install a speed sensor on the wheel, and apparently is out of whack. So the speed that's displaying, I think, may not be quite the speed I'm actually going. I must have hit it with my foot or something and knocked it, but it's still working. Right now the voltage climbing this hill is like 40.5 volts. It drops down below 39 very long, it'll actually shut down, and that'll be that. It is getting a little bit of a recharge from the weak sun that we have. Right now showing 45 watts, so that's a good thing. Start out, I want to go very sparingly on the throttle so I don't cause myself to get shut down. Once I get moving and really hit the pedals, the voltage will start climbing back up again. Perfectly timed lights here. Slide it over a little bit. There we go. Got my speed sensor back where it needs to be. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I tell you what, these side shields really do keep you a lot warmer when it's cold, and obviously they'll keep you a lot drier in the rain. I had them on my original elf, and I ordered a set for this elf and a set for my other one, which is called Red Rover. I just haven't put it on yet. I just put these side shields on a couple hours ago. They're working quite well. Taking a right at this next light. And this is when I go down this next road to the right, after we go maybe a quarter of a mile, it's a fairly long downhill sweep, not really steep, but give the battery a chance to recoup a bit. We're down to 45.5 volts, not under load, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I've already been probably 16, 17 miles today. I had a full charge on it this morning, but I've been doing a lot of running around. What I'm going to do at the top of this small rise is pull over to the right and let the traffic behind me get past me. There we go. Looks like I got two more cars coming. Alright. I have another one coming, but it's so far back that it'll take them a while to catch up with me. And here's kind of a roller coaster up and downhill section, but primarily downhill, so there won't be any need to use the throttle at all. Now with the New Vinci, I could continue pedaling well over 30 miles an hour. And when I had the 3-speed transmission, Once I got above 15 or 16 miles an hour, pedaling was not effective. Also, there's an overpass ahead. Just before we get to that, the road widens to 4 lanes for about a third of a mile. So if there is any traffic behind me, it can get past me. We're just cruising along at about 24 miles an hour right now. I'm just loping along, not really pushing very hard on the pedals. Somebody taking a video here. Like I said, I'm going to put some my own graphics on the side of this. You know, my other one as well, that'll have my phone number on it. I've gotten so much, response. I now call myself the Alabama Elf Guy. I get calls from all over the country, people watching these videos, these people I run into from time to time. But the reason I bought 2 elves, I had one that my original one is like I said, is pretty broken and not sure it's really worth fixing. I'm using it as a part source, but so I got another one, and I'll just ride a whole lot on that one. And I got such a good deal on this one. Okay, I'm taking a left turn here, so making a left turn signal. We do have some traffic coming the other way, so I got my hand on the brake and it'll keep beeping until after I turn. Now I'm not even going to turn it off. You'll see it'll stop on its own. And it did. Okay, well when we get to a stop sign up ahead, I'm going to go ahead and shut down. Not very exciting. Another couple miles to home from there. In fact, I think I've stopped here once before doing a video. So we're good. I'll just pull past the stop sign and pull over. Sign off. Thank you again for watching. And I look forward to seeing any comments you may have. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and pull the phone off the helmet here. If I can. There it goes.